Well, hello everyone out there in podcast land, YouTubeville. Uh, we're back. Got another show. I'm starting up just a couple minutes early and trying to get all my stuff set up. I want to say welcome to everyone who, if this is your first time tuning in to the show, I want to say welcome. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're able to join us. I have to set up some stuff over here and get ready for all my little things that I'm doing here over on YouTube and all the other places. So we've got all these little boxes uh, that I have to check once I get started. And for those of you, just so we know right off the bat, if you want to, you can go over to Spreaker.com. You can listen to the show live there. I got to turn some stuff down here because I got echo going because I got my laptop over here. And then over on YouTube itself, you can go there and tune into the show. So you can get us on all these different platforms. So I really encourage you guys to go check us out and check out what's going over there on the different platforms. I have to get my YouTube window open. So everybody, there I am. So I'm in my own chat room over here on YouTube. So hopefully, if you are looking at the video, lighting is good and you can see my face. Hopefully, the microphone's not blocking too much. Um, Welcome everybody. If this is your first show, Amp Life Talk Radio, a show for amputees and those affected by limb loss, I want to say welcome. I'm glad that you're here. And hopefully you will find this show uh, to be what you want. I mean, it's a different thing for everybody. I think everybody finds something different in the show that they enjoy. I try to provide a plethora of topics and information for you. Uh, Sometimes my lips don't work right. Sometimes they do. Let's see here. Pauline, I hope I got your name right. Are you tuning in over here on YouTube? Uh, Chattanooga. What? Girl, get on up out of here. That's where I'm from. Chattanooga, Tennessee. Pauline, man, go girl. I'm glad that you are a part of the show. That's the first time I've had somebody from my hometown, Chattanooga, Tennessee. Pauline, hey, if you're listening, I used to go to Howard High School, and I actually attended Alton Park Junior High. I remember Coach Tyler and Coach Bowles. A little history for you if you don't know this, Pauline. But when I was going to school, Reggie White was going to school at Howard High. He was leaving as a senior, going to the Tennessee Volunteers at that time, and I got to meet Mr. White, the deacon, the preacher. That's a big man, let me tell you. Reggie White was a big man, and he had a good heart. He used to pick us all up in his dad's Cadillac and take us to football practice. So, Pauline, thank you for tuning into the show. Man, Chat Town. Actually, Pauline, just so you know, a little bit of information for you out there. I'm actually going to be coming back to Nashville, Tennessee on the 2nd. I'll be flying out on Sunday. I'll be there until Friday. I'm going to be at our convention, Hangar Live. I'm actually doing a little speaking there, and I'm taking some educational classes. So I'm getting my learn on, and I'm actually going to talk a little bit. So, Pauline, welcome to the show. And it is so awesome to see someone from Chattanooga, Tennessee. As I wet my whips there, my whistle, welcome back, everybody. I know there's a lot of you that are now still looking for us over on Facebook. We do not do Facebook anymore. So, hey guys, if you are a Facebooker and you're on my pages over here on Facebook, please share this link. Let everybody know we're over here on YouTube. We don't do Facebook Live anymore. I'm over here trying to comply with the rules of YouTube. It's always really tough because I have custom sounds, and YouTube particularly doesn't like that. So, and you know what? Because my good friend here, Pauline has joined into the show. I want to give you, Pauline, a round of applause for being the first person from Chattanooga, Tennessee to call into the show. Give it up for Pauline, Chattanooga, Tennessee girl, a local girl calling from my hometown. Thank you. Thank you, Pauline, for tuning in. Uh, let's get to the show. We were talking about change. And I sat here tonight because I was working late and I thought to myself, what can I do? What can I talk about? I don't have a guest tonight. And I was like, man, what am I going to talk about? It is so hard. And I just thought to myself, I actually just thought about my week. And at work, I thought about my week. And one of the things that is consistent with me seeing new patients in my job, and I saw a lot of patients this week, change came across my mind. And I thought about that. And I was like, that would be an interesting topic to chat about tonight. So, tonight we're going to be talking about accepting change. And what do we mean by accepting change? Well, boys and girls, we're going to talk about that tonight. So, grab yourself a refreshment, get whatever you need, settle in, and let's do some talking and have a little chat about accepting change. As an amputee, that's probably one of the toughest things to do once we go through an amputation is to accept change. And if you hear a little beeping in the back, it's my alarm for my house. And you probably see all the new stuff on the back of the wall, the flag. There's a story behind that, and I'll get into that. Plaques, trophies, all that stuff. Most of you know what that stuff is. I do Spartans, but the flag, there's a special story behind that. And I'll get into that and talk about that on another show when we get closer to revealing what that flag is all about. Change, accepting change. Change is hard for many people, even if you're not an amputee. Change can be very, very tough to come to grips with. Change presents a lot of different things in our lives. It can be stressful. It can be uh, hard to swallow sometimes, depending on what's changing in our life. Change can be scary, if you want to say. But change is sometimes necessary. Most of us that go through an amputation, we know that going through an amputation is done for the betterment of our lives, meaning we're either getting an amputation because of traumatic injury or some type of disease related issue or painful foot that has caused us a lot of grief, a loss of our independence. So there needs to be a change. However, no matter how hard it is for us to accept that, it's worth keeping in mind that part of growing as a person requires you to accept that your life is constantly changing. We're always changing. We're always going through something. As they say, our life is forever evolving. And it's very important for you to pay attention to and notice and know about change. We might lose our job. We might lose loved ones, have to relocate, or have to go through some type of procedure. So, from an amputee's perspective, change can be very devastating and can be very scary. We have to understand that part of moving forward with our life as an amputee, we must be able to accept change. How do we do that? What are some of the things that we can do to help us accept this new situation, this new role, this new path that we're in and we're on? part one of this talk tonight. Let's talk about dealing with change. Well, the first thing I think we have to do is get ourselves to deal with the change intellectually, mentally, emotionally. And that can be hard. Embracing your feelings about the change can be very, very tough. Whatever type of change is unsettling you, whatever you're feeling at that point in time that's got your emotions all over the place, we need to embrace. We have to embrace those changes. Embrace the feelings about change. There's no way you'll get past losing a limb, amputation, unless we embrace our feelings about the new change, the new path that we're on. If you choose to ignore this, put it behind you, sweep it under the rug. I'm better than that. I don't have to, I'm good. I don't have to worry about that. That doesn't work. Eventually you will have a breakdown. In fact, I talked to a patient the other day. I had a new patient. And one of the things that I do when I work with all my patients is I have them journal. I have them start a journal. I want them to write down their everything in the journal, feelings, emotions, what you feel, what you think. I always ask them, start a journal. It's always the same. They say, well, when I first started, I only got a few pages. I only got just like a little bit out. But then late at night, the gates open. One of the things that he said to me about his journaling, it had nothing to do with his amputation, strangely. It had to do more with his hip replacement. He found that by journaling, what he found out and discovered was he had some feelings that he had not fully processed from his hip replacement. And those feelings, as he said, were causing him to be a very, very bitter, angry person during a certain phase of his life. And journaling made him realize that he had not accepted the change of what had happened to him through his hip replacement. Blame. He was placing the blame on everybody else because he was a professional drummer and he couldn't pursue that career like he wanted to. The blame he placed on other people for what happened to his hip. Embracing your feelings about change. We all must do it. We all must come to grips with it. We all must understand it is an important step in accepting change so that we can move on. If you embrace your feelings, it will be a lot easier to grow and move on. Expressing your feelings to others is very, very crucial. Learning how to communicate in this situation is going to be very important. Family members, loved ones, wives, husbands, daughters. Expressing your feelings to others. But we have to understand we need to do that in a certain way. We can't just explode on people. We need to learn to do that in a polite way, because if we can do it that way, the dialect that we're going to have is going to be more productive. Expressing your feelings to others in a polite way, a productive way, a meaningful way. If a loved one has passed away, that's what this is, the feeling of losing a limb. Everybody talks about limb loss. It is as if a loved one has passed away. One of the things we have to understand in accepting our feelings, accepting change, We need to let ourselves grieve. We have to grieve. We have to let that process happen. Mourning and grieving, a big part of accepting the new change of the new path that we're going to be placed on. Let yourself feel mad or disappointed or whatever it may be. We have to let ourselves feel. Boxing things up, denying feelings, ignoring feelings, they will eventually come back to get you. Embrace your feelings about the change. It's very important. Very, very important. We have to learn to articulate to our friends what we're feeling, how we're feeling, our questions, our fears, even our concerns. These are all so important in embracing your feelings about your new change. Understand that change is an inevitable part of life. We cannot avoid change. We cannot hide from it. We cannot duck it. There are some of us that are out there that go years with a limb that is in pain, limping, staying inside the house. We're doing things to where we're trying to avoid amputation. And sometimes it's inevitable. It's going to happen. The sooner we can accept that change, the sooner we can accept that path, the sooner we can get on with living a life without a bad limb, a lot of pain medications, surgery after surgery after surgery. Accepting change. Change is in many forms. Before we let things go too far without accepting that change, we need to learn sometimes that it is necessary for certain things to happen, certain things to come to be. It's not an easy topic to have with yourself, with your family. I find sometimes it's very hard for family members to accept a change when we're talking about amputation and limb loss. Sometimes they can take it harder than the actual person who had the limb amputated. This change is a part of life. This change can often bring new opportunities and sometimes place you in a better place mentally and physically in your life. We have to learn how to accept those types of things. I think one of the things that helps when we need to accept change like this is try to put things in perspective. I always try and help patients with that, trying to put things in perspective. We know we have to do an amputation, but how we put that into perspective and how we talk about that really affects how the person is going to deal with this new change in their life. Try to put things in a positive perspective. I think that's a better way of even saying that. A positive perspective. It is easy to get overwhelmed by the thought of amputation. It is easy to get overwhelmed once you come out of surgery and see that the limb is missing. It is a devastating feeling to look down and not see something that you're so used to having. Your concerns about how you're going to do things. How am I going to live now? How people are going to see me. accepting change. Part of accepting change is how we put things into perspective. You've heard me talk about this before. You need to try to get yourself into a more positive mindset. If you take some time to put things into perspective for yourself, this becomes easier. Journaling, sit down, write about the things, write about what you're feeling, write about your fears. What are you truly scared of? What's truly freaking you out about this new change? Reframe the situation, reframe your thoughts. Ask yourself some questions, put them down on a journal. I'm a firm believer in journaling, especially after an amputation and even before the amputation. You can start this process. Ask yourself some questions about this new change. Give yourself time to think about it. List the things that you are grateful for in life. Once you come out the other end, you're in this new change. Think about what you're truly grateful for. A lot of times, amputation is a life saving procedure. You're breathing, you're still here, you still have your family. Think about the benefits of what has happened to you in this new change and with this new change. Practicing gratitude, positive state of mind, and practicing positive gratitude. That gratitude, man. What are you grateful for that you've came out the other end? You've survived something like this. Met a young man the other day, struck by a DUI driver, lost his leg. Guy had the best attitude, man. He's in such a good, positive mood for something that happened to him like that. Gratitude, perspective, the right positive mindset. Practicing active gratitude is a great technique for you to use if you are to overcome and deal with change. You've heard me talk about all these principles in different subjects, either in a Facebook post or on just the talk show. Gratitude, positive mindset, putting things into perspective. Reframe your situation, reframe your thought of mind. Understanding that change is inevitable sometimes. Embracing your feelings about this change. Every day with this new life that you have, try to write down some things for which you are grateful. Add to that list every day and read it. Know it. Understand what you're grateful for. Can really help with accepting change. We always have to keep a positive mindset, which will help us keep our eyes on the prize. Always look on the bright side of things. Don't always look down in the woes and the valleys and just, oh, woe is me, man. This happened to me and I'm bummed out. Try to focus on the positives, the bright side of things. I see Brian here from Riverside. You're right, Brian. Attitude is everything. If you can, try to look on that bright side. It will help with accepting this new change you're going through. Even though we can find ourselves in a very negative situation and have negative thoughts, trying to find The bright side of things can always lighten up the circumstances of your situation. I think one of the things we really have to do is try to understand why the change unsettles you so much. What is it about this new change that is unsettling to you? What scares you? What are you afraid of? And when you journal and write these things down, it's good to go back and read them. Look at them and try to figure out, what are you truly afraid of? What is truly bothering you about this situation, your new path? That can really help you when you are looking at a change as drastic as amputation. Try to understand why this new situation unsettles you, scares you so much. And I think one of the things that we need to do once we work ourselves through this list, this thought process, embrace your dynamic nature, embrace who you are from the standpoint of your ability to adapt. Amputees have an incredible knack for being adaptive, being able to take situations and adapt to them. You're no different. Embrace that amazing, awesome ability in you. Taking time to think about this change allows you to embrace who you are and your abilities and your talents to be able to do this. Try to view change as a challenge and a chance to grow rather than my life's over, woe is me. Oh, I can't do this. I'll never be able to do that. Oh, this is so bad. Change your thought process, reframe your thinking. Remind yourself that you are a strong, awesome, dynamic person, that you can and will be stronger than anything that you're facing. Keep this in mind. Find yourself a reason, a purpose, a goal to motivate you to achieve what you need to do to accept this change and to get over this change, to live with it, to thrive in it. Try to use change as motivation. Then we need to take action. Now that we've got the thought, the plan, we've got a goal, we've got this blueprint in front of us, we got our mind right, we know what we need to do. We need to take action, a plan of action. It could be something as simple as managing your stress, getting back up and getting active. Whatever it may be, once you develop this plan, you've went through all this process that we've talked about. Now we want to put that into action. Getting to our appointments, going to physical therapy. You're taking action, you're taking active steps in regaining your life back, accepting this change and conquering this change, learning who you truly are, your strengths and weaknesses, and utilizing those in a meaningful, tactful way. Another thing that I always find with amputees, because you have so much downtime, stay busy, stay focused, stay busy. Journaling is a good way to do that. Your mind is always actively, positively working towards that goal of regaining your life, getting back up. Not only just accepting this change, but conquering this change. Make yourself busy. Be a busy little bee. Reading up on prosthetics, educating yourself, seeking out others in a support group, seeking out others that you can talk with, peer visitors. Stay busy. Get busy. Probably one of the best things you're going to be able to do to help you with accepting change. Talk it out. Talk it out. Conversate. The person does not necessarily have to be an amputee. Find someone that you trust, you can confide in, you can talk to, you can share your deepest, darkest fears, your deepest, darkest concerns, those scary thoughts that are coming through your mind. Find someone that you can talk it out with. Remember, politely. Politeness will lead to constructive communication, effective communication. Talk it out. Talk to people. Learn how to verbalize what you're feeling. Be able to express why this change unsettles you so much. I am sure your friends and loved ones will be there to listen and to hopefully sympathize with you and show you empathy. Not that nobody wants anybody to feel sorry for them, but we all want people to understand us. And there is a big difference between understanding us and feeling sorry for us. I think a lot of that plays into how you come across. It really, really does. So talk it out. Find someone. So important to be able to let these things out. And then one of the biggest things I totally believe in, you need to create a list of goals for yourself. Get those goals down on paper, do that journal. Get them in there. I don't care what it is. Hey, I want to be able to walk to the bathroom. I want to be able to go check the mail. Whatever it is, get yourself a list of goals. Remember, stay busy. A busy little bee is a happy little bee. Create a list of goals for yourself. And when we talk about setting goals, we're talking about realistic goals. Part of accepting change is understanding where you are at in this situation, where you are at in this current moment, where you are at on this path, in this journey. It is so important. Get those goals down. Tell someone your goals. The best way to know that you're going to accomplish your goals, let someone know about your goals. That is the quickest way to hold yourself accountable, is to share it. Talk it out. The ultimate result of this, with all these things that we've talked about, is you're trying to build a better world for yourself on this new journey and with these new changes in your life. Accepting them. The whole purpose is to build that better outcome for yourself. Get yourself to where you're up, you're doing, you're able to go out, experience life. You're able to go out and to take on life again. So, my friends, tonight, I hope you got something from this talk about accepting change. Some of the little tools I gave you, some of the little tips and information, I hope that you got them. I hope that you will share this show with somebody who is struggling with this change as an amputee and they're just looking for something because it is hard. It is hard to accept that I'm an amputee. It is hard to wrap your head around this new journey, this new path that you've been placed on, whether it was traumatic or whether it was disease related and you had a couple days to actually think about it, or whether you had no time to think about it. Accepting this new change requires effort on our behalf. We need to really focus on how we want to affect that change. I hope that you all enjoyed tonight's show. I hope that you got something from it. I see Brian is lighting up my YouTube page over here. What are you talking about, Brian? Let's see what Brian's got going over here. Brian's he's a certified peer visitor. Well, Brian, reach out to people, man. Go on the Facebook page. Let everybody know. I'm always glad to have everybody come on here and talk about what you're doing. And I really do hope that some of you got some good information tonight. I hope it spoke to you. Whether you're a new amputee or an old amputee, learning how to accept the new change that we find ourselves in and that we're going through is so important with getting back to living. It is so, so important. So accepting change, learning how to do that. And I hope that all this really helped. We're going to have some more guests coming up on the show. And I'm looking forward to having those guests on to share their experiences with you. Man, I got to give a shout out to Monster Mike. I don't know if any of you guys got to see the X Games, but I got to watch a little bit of that. That was awesome. Mike, you rock, man. You did it up. Mike was collecting some click clack over there, man. You got all the medals. We're looking forward to having Mike in the magazine, and hopefully he got some good pictures. We're going to get more of his story. He was my last guest, Monster Mike. Check him out over at monstermike.com, I think. And he's got a company called Biotech for those of you out there, or Bioadapt. He's making some pretty awesome prosthetics that allow people to do all kinds of amazing activities outdoors, including riding motorcycles. Mike, you're an awesome dude. I look forward to having you back on the show. Everyone, if you have things going on, always reach out to me. Let me know what you're up to in your neck of the woods. And let me put this out there because I put this up on my Facebook page. So all of you, I put up the cover challenge. Okay. I gotta say some stuff. Okay. You have to submit those to the email. Read the rules on the cover challenge post. Read those rules. Every photo that you submit to me has to have a story behind the photo. Don't just send me a photo. And when you send a photo, make sure it's a nice photo. It's going to be on the cover of a magazine. I can't take out of focus photos. I cannot accept photos to where I don't even see your prosthetic device. Make sure they are clear, good, high res images, and the backstory of what the picture is all about, because you're going to get a little blurb in the magazine. So the cover challenge, which I'm doing all year long, there's no rush. All year long, I'm going to be accepting certain people putting your photo on the cover of the magazine. Amp Life Talk Radio. You can send stuff over to Amp Life Talk Radio on my Facebook page or Amp Nation Facebook page. But I'm going to redirect you over to the email in that post. I've been getting a lot of people sending me messages. You can, but I'm going to come in and I'm going to say, hey, you need to send this over here. Put your backstory with it. So please read that post and follow the rules in it. I've gotten a lot of good submissions and a lot of people have sent some really cool stuff over. I'm looking forward to sitting down and going through those and picking out some people. So remember the cover challenge, read the post. I wanted to make sure I got that out there. Amp Nation magazine is up to some cool stuff. We got some pretty cool people that We're trying to get on as sponsors, and I really appreciate everybody that reaches out and tries to be a sponsor there. I contact a lot of you because I know of your product. It sounds like, man, I'm excited about this one if it comes true. Gorilla Tape, man, if we get them on board as a sponsor. I did a video showing you how to seal your prosthetic sleeve with Gorilla Tape, and we may have something going with them. So maybe I'll give out some of that Gorilla Tape on air. So you guys have a roll of Gorilla Tape rolling around with you. So I look forward to doing more shows. I'm so blessed and so thankful that I get to do what I do on a weekly basis with all you crazy amputees out there. I love all you guys. I appreciate all you guys. And I'm so thankful that you have stuck with me for 4 seasons over here doing this show. Hey guys, I look forward to doing more shows with you. I will try and keep you up to date with everything that I'm doing. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Share it, and also share Facebook, Instagram, all of our pages. It is so simple. You can type in Amp Life Talk Radio on Google, or you can type in Amp Nation Magazine on Google, or just Sean Harrison. All of our stuff will come up. We're on Apple Podcasts, iTunes, iHeartRadio. We're on Spotify, which I hear is now the best place for podcasts. Guys, I cannot thank you enough. And I want to give one more little bit of information. When we do have live call-in guests, I do know that on YouTube, you're not hearing the guest. So what I recommend to everyone is go to Spreaker.com. You can basically pull up the live show and listen to it. I'm doing it right now. You can pull that up, and I'm streaming live right there. And it has a chat room, but you can hear the show live on Spreaker.com. Just type in Amp Life Talk Radio, and you will find us popping up. You must subscribe over there and give the show a like there also. But if something ever happens on YouTube where you're not hearing my guest or myself, always go to Spreaker.com and punch in Amp Life Talk Radio, and you will hear all the live audio, because right here on my screen, I have a mixer for Spreaker.com is how I record all my shows. That's why a lot of times you'll hear at the end of the show when I cue out, there's a little pause because we're live streaming. I always go back in and I fix that in post-production tomorrow morning, like at 3:00 in the morning. So working for you guys at that time. Guys, I can't thank you enough for being a part of Amp Life Talk Radio. What a wonderful experience. I hope you got something from this show. Accepting change. Please spread the word. Tell everybody about us. Give us a like over on YouTube, and like us on all of our other social media platforms. I'm your host, Sean Harrison, here on Amp Life Talk Radio. I am so thankful to have you here. By the way, remember, next week I will be out of town. I'll be in Nashville. I will try to do a live show while I'm in Nashville. I'll grab somebody as a special guest and get them on the air. Again, I can't thank you enough. Thank you all for tuning in to Amp Life Talk Radio.
You are listening to Sean Harrison on Amp Life Talk Radio, a place for amputees and those dealing with limb loss. The views expressed on the show by the host, co-hosts, and guests are their own. Always seek medical advice from a licensed medical professional.